So hey guys, it's Trait. Today I thought I'd do a storytime video about a certain somebody. Let's call them Dylan. I was dating Dylan from like around May to February of last year. This isn't your normal like, oh my god, like I had an ex. Like no, this is like some like messed up like conspiracy theory, like everybody's like against you, like crazy, like Trisha Paytas, like my life is over, like I don't know how to function, like that's what this like was. One moment. Alright, I just realized I had these receipts and I went insane. I have like exact like dates and everything, like you guys are ready for the tea. We were like seeing each other, it was before I was going to Fanshawe, and he lived in London and I lived in Woodstock, but we went back and forth a lot, you know how gay boyfriends are, it just happens. So we went back and forth a lot and I was staying at his place one time. So I was there and this boy, he's living with, I believe he had 2 roommates at the time, one of whom was his girlfriend who actually had him on her phone plan. So this is where it gets weird. So he was fully arguing with this person, like they have like all these problems because this is like his ex. And she was like, well, I'm gonna like cut you off the phone plan, blah, blah, blah. Like this is what he's telling me. He's telling me she's gonna cut him off the phone plan and all this stuff because like she's just mad at him or something because she's gonna move away. She's gonna up off her ass and just fucking move away. And you know, like, I mean, in hindsight, I know that was never gonna happen because it still hasn't happened. I'm pretty sure she's like still in like the same fucking apartment. And he was like, oh, well, like, why don't I switch it over to your name instead? And this should have been like a red flag, like whoosh, like in the wind, like I should have known, like holy crap, but whatever, you know, you're dating somebody, I was young, I'm still young. You don't expect like the person you're like seeing and like someone you're like romantically involved with, you know, you just don't think about these things. Okay, so like that's my lapse of judgment, whatever, like this is like, this story like is a story. It's not about like who's right or wrong, it's just a story, so sorry. On August 11th, 2015, so we're at Fido. We get his phone. I'm in a date and I signed the fucking thing, but I thought like it was like more one of those situations where it's like we were both signed on and he was like telling me all this stuff. Oh, like we're both on it, so like if I don't pay it's fine because like it's my name and it will go to mine, like his name. So he was like telling me all this stuff about how like it was on both of our names, like it was totally cool, it was totally gonna work because it was both of us and it wasn't just gonna mess up my credit if he didn't pay a bill, but he would be paying the bill because we were together and blah 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 blah. He goes for like an insane phone plan because he is a dumbass. Whoa 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 whoa. Why would I let him get the most expensive phone plan? Like, red flags. What I didn't realize about this phone plan is that like I was actually the person who was entirely in charge of it. The first month comes, he pays, like cool, great, awesome. Second month comes, and I get an email. It's like, oh, like your bill's here, and it's this much. And I'm like, oh, like, okay, like, I'm gonna go tell my boyfriend. The next month comes, it's November, and I saw him like do it, like I saw him pay, like we went to the store together and he paid like so much more, and I'm like, okay, cool, like that's something he did. So anyway, you know, I forget about it, like he has it set up. Like I haven't gotten any emails in a long time or anything from Fido, so I just kind of like forget about it and like whatever, like he's paying his bills. Like that's what I'm thinking at least. So we keep dating, you know, like that was in August, like I moved to London in September. Like I ended up moving in with him for a minute. I'll have a story time video about that because it was honestly insane. You know, and we're living together and it's cute and like everything's all cool and he's gonna come up right there. You know, like super nice, like we never had sex, but like, you know, he's like basically asexual, so I didn't really care even though it kind of sucked ass. And then in February, we didn't do anything on Valentine's Day because like he just didn't want to do anything on Valentine's Day and he was being a dick. I was going away for the weekend and he basically called me while I was like in Port Burwell, like at my mom's. He calls me up and he's like,
oh, like, I don't think, like, this is working out.
Mind you, all my stuff, literally all my stuff, all my bedroom furniture, like, everything I own, like, all my makeup, like, everything is, like, at his house. So, like, I go and get that. Okay, you know what, and, like, this will be part of another storytime video, this part in detail, because, like, I need to talk about my psycho roommates. This is just about him scamming me, so I'm sorry. A few months in, the phone plan, I get, like, a call from a creditor. I'm like, oh, why am I getting, like, these calls? Like, have you been paying your bill? And he's like, oh, yeah, like, there's like $100 I still need to pay, like that's just in it. I don't know why they're calling you, like it's not that much. I'll make sure like they don't contact you again. Boy literally goes, he calls Fido, he changes the information so they don't contact me, so they contact his ass instead of me. February came and then he basically just broke up with me because his roommates were like, I don't know if they weren't into me or they just weren't into themselves or like they weren't into him, because all I knew and all they would ever tell me is that they hated him so much and they wanted to move out. He basically told me like way later that the reason we broke up in his head was because they wanted to move out and he didn't want them to move out, which is so great because I'm so valued as a partner. Red flag number 8 billion, like 875. So anyway, we're broken up. Like I have all my stuff. I mean, they stole like an iPhone and a Apple TV from me, but like that's something else. I'm just like, okay, cool, like we're broken up, you fucking suck, my life is destroyed, like you fucking suck, like blah 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 blah. That happens, that goes. So after we break up, I'm like, can you like close this phone plan? I don't trust you, you suck, I don't want you on my credit or anything. I don't even want to be on anything with you, like get your name off, like bye. This is where it gets really fucky. He's like, okay, like I'll close the account, and then he calls me up later and he's like, it cost me this much to deactivate the account and then there's this much still left remaining. Let me tell you when he paid, because there's very few days. First month he paid blank whatever. I don't need to say how much, but he paid the first month on September 2015. Actually, you know, I'm just gonna throw the numbers out there because they're my account realistically and I can say how much is in them or was in them. So on September 2015 he paid $105, which was a bit more than the phone plan, but you know that's how it works. And then in November 2015 he paid $205, which is to cover the 1 month that he missed, and then he blocks me from being able to see it. And then, like, I'm not even shitting you, like, this is what I have written down. This motherfucker only ever made 2 payments on an account that was open for September, October, November, December, January, February. So he paid twice on an account that was open for 6 months. What the actual fuck? So altogether, once he closed the account and had to pay the extra fee to close the account, it was $748. I'm pissed. Like, I'm beyond pissed. This is in February. I am beyond pissed. I am literally exploding with anger. And I'm like, you suck. You're an awful person. Like, you need to die. Like, you're a bad person. I hate you. Like, why would you do this? Like, we talk on the phone about how he's gonna pay it off, because, like, I'm not paying any of this. Like, it's all you. Like, this is your phone that you used. Like, you are going to pay for it. So he's like, okay, yeah, like, I'll pay. So we made an agreement. I was like, okay, well, I can help you a little bit with this. I don't know why I thought he could do this, but he was saying he could. So I was gonna pay $150, he was gonna pay $150 for the first month. The next month he was gonna pay $200, and then the next month he was gonna pay $100, and then he was just gonna keep paying off like $100 a month until it was all gone. Which, you know, that wouldn't have taken too long. This is also where it's like there's a lot of BS involved, because he actually told me in specific times, which I actually have all the stamps for. I could show you them, but like, it's easier to just read to explain what's going on. So on April 1st, he's like, oh my god, I'm selling my computer. And then at the time I was like, oh my god, why? Like, why are you selling that? Like, you spent 4 months of our relationship like saving up to get that computer, like you're insane. And I was like, well, whatever, like I hope you can like put some of that money into the phone plan that you have to pay off, because we were still talking at the time. He's like, oh yeah, I got like this much less than I thought. And I'm so cunty in these messages. I'm like, oh my god, why? Because he was selling his computer. So like, he's like just beating around the bush, whatever. So like April 21st happens. Oh hey, like you paid the $300 this month, right? Only asked because you never said anything. And he says, yes, I paid it when I got the check. I'm like, oh good, sorry, it just gives me like minor panic attacks, but literal actual text. Then the $250 for next month. So this is like, he's like, oh yeah, I paid $250. And so then on May 8th, he then messages me again, and I'm like, we talk for a minute, and then he's like, how much is left on like the money you owe, like for the phone plan? He's like, oh, it's like $250 and like a little bit of change. I'm like, okay, that's like great, that's great, awesome. And then he's like trying to make me feel bad because I was being mean to him. June 3rd, like, hey, it's the next month. I'm like, hey girl, like how much is on like that phone bill? Cause like, you know, like you're supposed to be paying it off, right? And he's like, oh yeah, like $150, why do you ask? And I was like, oh, I'm opening a new account. I'm just like, with my bank, I'm just hoping that I don't get like denied anything, like because like there's a debt in my name, like, right? Okay, so then he's like, you're fine setting up a new bank even if it wasn't paid off. And I'm like, oh, that's funny. There's also numerous times like where he's literally asked me for money, like, oh, can you send me this? Like, can you send me this much money? And I always said no. Like, you owe me money. Like, there's no way there's gonna be any money coming from me to you. And then on June 30th, I was messaging him about it again. He was like, saying that he didn't have a lot of money this month, and I'm like, honestly, like it's $200, like you literally go to the cash shop for everything because you're like a weirdo. Why don't you just go and get like a $200 loan and just pay off the phone bill and then pay it off on your own time so it's not on my credit? Because like realistically, like I was like getting ready to move again from Port Burwell to London. I just need to make sure everything's good before I start like trying to figure out apartments. On July 6th, I'm like, hey, like my mom's gonna come to London, like why don't you like, just give her the phone and she'll just pay off the rest of the bill. We're like, why don't you just give us the phone? He's like, no idea where it is. That is all the shit that happened previous to me finding out that he hadn't paid since, are you ready? Are you ready to hear the last time he paid for the phone bill? The last time he paid for the phone bill was November 2015. Do you understand what I am telling you? I am telling you that this boy paid 2 bills, or 3, and then didn't pay it ever again, closed the account with the bills still on it, and then never paid it off while telling me the whole time that it was being paid off. On top of that, he had already made it so like no one could contact me about my fucking shit. Cool. And yeah, so basically, I've gotten maybe like 200 overall, and I just paid 550 or something out of my own pocket, which was great because I totally haven't fucking I just fucking love spending all my fucking money. Oh, I burped. That felt really good. But yeah, I just love spending all of my money on other people with no rewards. It's just my favorite thing to do. And that is how my boyfriend scammed me out of $748.93. I hope you guys enjoyed me bitching and being angry and ranting and clapping my hands like this. If you guys really like this video, feel free to like and let me know, like, if you want more storytime videos or something, because, like, they're fun to film. Yeah, feel free to subscribe too, like, if you want. I mean, there's, like, a thing that you can push that, like, this is